What's going on, everyone? King here, back for another video. Hopefully y'all can hear me all right. It's kind of windy today, but it's a nice day, so I thought I'd come out and go for a walk around the neighborhood. Actually want to make this a quick video, not too long. What's going on over there? But anyways, so the title of this video is about whether or not my actions are viewed as revenge or even retaliation, that I'm being bitter and petty as I take legal action against the board and others for their involvement in the air property and other things. Their claims to be airship property. Now, if you see my other video, maybe I haven't quite posted it yet, but I will post it if I haven't posted already. But so on I believe it was May 22nd. Yeah, I think it was May 22nd, which was a Monday, or maybe the 21st of this year, 2023, that there was a hearing, an ex parte hearing, to restrain the board from conducting business, not following rules and laws, not adhering to the bylaws, and putting the property at risk. I mean, there was a paperwork filed to the court, and one of the judges that signed orders for previous cases signed this order to show cause, to have everything heard before him Monday virtually. Everything was done virtually. It wasn't done in person, which I understand why, but my lawyer was not very confident as well as comfortable as in doing that in that setting. But nonetheless, so when the comments were made by the opposing attorney that I, Mr. King, was doing all of this for revenge, for the board voting me off the board, well, I'm here to address it, that that's not the case. That, it's funny how people, including his lawyers and anybody else, hey, he's gonna defend his clients, right? He's gonna say what he needs to say to make an argument, right, wrong, and different. But it's another story that my attorney seems to not take that approach. Seems to not want to respond to the rhetoric or the hearsay, you let him talk, if you will. Maybe that's part of his strategy. I don't know, but I don't necessarily agree with it, but I go with it. Even if I disagree with it, but nonetheless. So you said that I was doing this out of revenge. Again, that's not the case. That's definitely not the issue, because let's look at the timeline. I'm going to prepare documents. I'm going to prepare information that when the time comes, when I get my day in court, you best believe that I'm going to shut down that argument. I'm going to shut down that negative statement, that false claim, misinformation, he said, she said, hearsay, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to shut it down, because look at the timeline. The timeline is that when I became elected, when the board was established through elections, which I oversaw, I chaired, and everybody was voted into place, including myself, was voted into the assistant secretary position. That timeline was from April. Well, we had actually in March of 2021. We were officially installed in April 2021, and we started conducting business as a board since then. Right, wrong, and different. Regardless of what everybody says and feels about the board. And during that time, things were happening behind the scenes that I was unaware of until it was brought to light, until I became aware of it, and I addressed it in emails and during meetings. They didn't like my response. They didn't like my answers. They made their allegations that I'm being this, that, and the third. Um, I expressed myself. I said what I said during the meetings, and I got it all recorded. And so, so some of the things they were trying to do was put trailers on the property and pay the taxes, which is fine, but it was not discussed during board meetings, right? Which needs to be on record that we discuss this expense, right? We discuss the bill, the invoice, the tax bill, and agreed to go ahead and have the taxes paid. But they didn't want to discuss it during the board meetings. So, again, in multiple meetings, I told them, hey, we need to abide by the bylaws. The bylaw says this. Everybody needs to be informed as to what's going on. The board cannot make decisions on this, right? And it needs to be on record. Everything needs to be on record. Again, because I was accused of lying. I was accused of committing fraud. I was accused of so much. Everybody's saying this and third about this and third, right? But no one wants to be held accountable. Like, put it on record. They didn't want meetings recorded, right? So anyway, so I had enough of the board not adhering to the bylaws and not doing things proper, decent order. So I got a lawyer. My mother got a lawyer. And we had the board serve a cease and desist letter in November of 2021. So when that board received that letter, first via email and then official mail, right? They had an emergency meeting to vote me off or to not invite me to the meetings. So that was on a Monday. I believe it was a Monday, the 16th or maybe the 18th. I can't recall. But shortly, some days after they were sent the email containing the letter. Okay, so that's when they stopped inviting me to meetings. They internally voted me off the board. So that was November 2021. Or January of 2021, around January 20th, there was meetings held, as well as a company was on the property clearing off 2 plots of land, 2 parcels of land. Again, none of this stuff was approved. At least I was not part of the board when they approved it to do this, because I said, hey, this needs to be presented to the body of people. It's in the bylaws, but nonetheless, so they voted on this approval, voted on to approve trailers to be on the property. The land was being cleared, and then February 1st, when I was away on business, official business, I was contacted by, on behalf of one of the people that want to put a trailer on the property, looking for a letter, right, to basically draft a written request for the trailer to be on the property. But so wait a minute, so they approved it before there was a written request from the person to put a trailer on the property. But yet they said that I filed legal action as retaliation because I was removed from the board. Was I? So I did this, I started this process way before I was removed from the board, way before they started doing things and not following, not adhering to the cease and desist letter, and not even adhering to the complaint when they were served. And they did this without a lawyer. They didn't get a lawyer until August or September of 2022. So how many months after they were served? So they were served in March. So April, May, June, July, August, nearly 5.5 months after they were served the complaint, did they get a lawyer? And they paid for the lawyer out of what? The funds from the bank account. But yet I'm doing this out of retaliation, out of revenge. Okay. But anyway, so that was on February 1st of 2022. And in March of 2022 is when they held the estate meeting to present the so-called request to approve the trailers on the property to the people. In the same time, allegedly, right, present, right, the offenses that I've that I violated, my offenses of violating the bylaws and where else, and to vote me off the board. At no point in time was I notified of this. I was not informed that they were going to do this at the meeting. So they had that, and this was the complaint was already filed. The board was not just officially served yet. So the board was aware of it coming, but they were not officially served the complaint. Again, this was in March of 2022, right? So days after the meeting, they were officially served the complaint. All parties that I named in the complaint were served, and then they were to provide a response within 30 days or 35 days of receiving said complaint, of being served said complaint. But again, it was said during the hearing that I did all of this as a revenge for them removing me off the board. Really? Or is it because of the board was not following the rules and following laws, which was enacted within the bylaws? If the bylaws says that XYZ can't be done, then XYZ can't be done unless everybody knows what's going on, regardless of what you think may feel, regardless. And this is not about dictatorship. This is not about total dominance on my part, anyways. This is not about me being in control. This is about everybody having a voice. Because again, my grandmother, right, one of the great grandchildren of Toby Cox, she had a voice. She voiced her opinion and what they said to her. They ignored what she said because they didn't agree with it. What they said, oh, let's be bygones. Let's forget about who's who and what's what and come together. And this, that, and the third, right? Well, my grandmother said, no, everybody needs to prove who you are. How you enter property. We ain't got to do that. Nuh-uh. Ain't no need for that. And the courts told them to do it. The courts told them to do it. There's documentation to prove it. There's even letters from family members. I read the letter, or by the time this video is aired, maybe I've already posted that video of me reading the letter from the cousin, right? Saying that everybody must prove who they are. Because he wrote letters to the board, the previous board, as to what were they doing? Why wasn't everybody informed? We need to turn over the books, turn over the financial records, turn over the meeting minutes and the bylaws and everything else, but it wasn't done. Even after a lawyer sent them a letter requesting those documents, they ignored it. And during the deposition, again, this is when I was part of the case, to quite a title, one of the elderly ladies who was defending the case said that she took the letter to a lawyer and the lawyer said it was no good. She said that during the deposition now. So it is crazy how people can flip the story to fit their agenda, to fit their argument. Let's get to the truth. So within that hearing that we had, virtual hearing against the board, the judge was like, well, you got two options. One, really he's pushing for mediation to have this case heard before Mr. Haig Porter, who signed the original order, quite entitled to the property. But due to third-party contact, and even when the defendants contacted him, he doesn't want to be involved because it presents a conflict of interest, which is well within his right. But the judge presiding over the hearing says, well, seek out mediation. And he says, if y'all can't agree on who can be the mediator in this case, then I'll appoint one. But also, sounds to me like there needs to be a hearing of some sort, a trial, as to who's right and who's wrong. Because the judge is like, I don't know who's right and who's wrong. I can't make sense of this, right? But it sounds like to me I need to have a hearing. So, game on. As I said before, let me get my day in court. Now, whether this, I don't understand why though. What a judge feels in that, or the court, I should say, because there's now a second judge now. Why these judges who represent these courts are not comfortable with signing these orders to restrain from things happening when it was done in the past. There's historical evidence, there's procedural evidence that in 2000, from 2011 to 2015, there was orders signed to restrict from the board, for committees, from all parties involved, to include their family members, from entering hunting leases, for spending money, from cutting timber, moving trailers on property, clearing land, whole 9 yards, building on the property. It was done. And then when I got involved in 2017, it was the exact same way. From 2017 to 2020, it was the exact same way. But I don't understand why things are the way they are. Why things can't happen that makes sense. These judges, for some reason, don't feel comfortable signing it. Maybe they want to hear more of it. Okay, 30 minutes is not enough time. Maybe 30 minutes is not enough. I don't know. But we'll see how it goes. Let's see if what's going to happen with this case. Um, I mean, if it takes get a hearing to for me to have my day in court, to basically tell my side of the story, then I'm going to do so. But the question is really, is the board ready for all this? If all parties involved include their family members and everyone else who has something to say, yet they didn't come forward when it's time to come forward, didn't come forward to help pay for legal fees, help pay the taxes, but yet wants a handout, wants to live on the property for free, wants to get an attitude with me and my mother, call us out of our name, yet they want to mention God. That's not very godly. That's not very Christian. That's not very family that you can sit there when things ain't going your way, when you got issue, to hurl your insults, to spew your racial comments, derogatory comments, all right, about me, my mother, and everything else. That's okay though, huh? But read the bylaws. The bylaws says what? The bylaw says has a ethics policy that I drafted based on what? My research, right? Based on Robert's Rules of Order, based on how other organizations have it, right? Any corporation, any business has a policy on harassment, on sexual harassment, um, bullying. They basically have rules and laws, right? As how they're going to conduct the meetings, how each employee as well as officer uh, will conduct themselves accordingly while employed at the business, while in that position. So there's no different. So again, if the hearing isn't necessary, then let's go. Let's have a hearing. Let's see how things play out. Let's see how things play out, because again, this is a third lawsuit, all because people didn't want to do right. I mean, as soon as they got in position, here they come doing what they want to do, and that's this the exact same issues that happened in 2011, 2015. It's gone. So it all come to head, because now I got cousins, I got people contacting me that are finding out what's going on. They're contacting me asking questions, and I tell them, hey, here's what's going on. And these are people that are probably smarter than me, if not on the same length as me, as being intelligent, or at least have some intelligence, have some know-how, maybe more experienced than me, more seasoned than me. Matter of fact, one of the people that contacted me is one of the great grandchildren of Toby Cox. He referred to, right, Papa Sim, which is, again, my grandmother's grandfather, as Uncle Bubba. I'm like, whoa. So it might have been his grand aunt. Grand uncle. So it means that he is the brother, right? That Papa Sim was a brother, a sibling to one of his parents. Hmm. Imagine that. Imagine that. Yeah, he contacted me to find out what's going on. I told him. So it's a matter of time. You know, things may not happen the way I want it to happen, but I guess I got to believe in the higher power, prayer, and everything else. But I'm not gonna sit there and make derogatory comments and spew insults and hurl insults and spread false information and lies while at the same time praying to God, while bringing up God, by having the faith in God that things are going to work the way it needs to work out, you know? Like, all because I'm mad and bitter, upset, or I don't disagree how things are going. I'm not going to get physically and mentally upset um, because things are not happening the way I want it to happen. It's not happening fast enough. Yes, I'm frustrated, but not to the point where I'm just gonna put all this negative energy out there to where directed towards people that's supposed to be my family members. It is what it is, right? Allow them to say what they want to say, go ahead, but I want to document it. I want to document it that they said that. So let me present that to the court is evidence, right? I mean, they're saying that I'm doing it for revenge, yet they don't bring up the fact that they say what they want to say about me, my mother, and everyone else, spewing this negativity, spreading false information, lies. But that's okay though. But shame on me for doing this in for revenge. Is it revenge or is it about accountability? I don't know. Let the court sort this out. But that's all I got for now. I think I'm gonna talk long enough. So I appreciate y'all working with me. Appreciate you following. Leave a comment. Share this video, like this video, and I'll see you in another video. Take care. Peace.